Harambe YouTube. Yes, we are doing another AEW Jazzwares unboxing. This time we're going to be doing a new Kris Statlander action figure unboxing from Series 13. So we're going to set this Kris Statlander aside, bring her back for a comparison later. But right now we're going to open the Series 13 Kris Statlander. Got it from the Jazzwares Vault, straight from Jazzwares themselves. For the, I believe it was a July 4th sale they had going on. This is a very cool action figure, completely different look from the original that I have. That's why I got it. It has her attire from the 2023 All Out pay-per-view, where she defended her TBS championship against Ruby Soho. This series comes with another Kenny Omega action figure, Kris Statlander, of course, another Hook action figure, and a Kyle Fletcher action figure. So as we know, I am not a mint on card collector, so let's get into it and see what we have going on here. Now the way I do my unboxing and reviews is I use what I like to call a 3A criteria. Those are appearance, articulation, and accessories. That way you have a baseline that we can judge the action figure off of, and I can give you my opinion, my critiques of these action figures. And it looks like as far as accessories, we have a lot of hands. Actually, the most hands that I've seen come with the Jazzwares action figure. I actually just lost a fist. Here it is. No, it wasn't. It's not a fist. It's some kind of other hand. So we got all the accessories out. So we're going to start with appearance. First off, the cool thing about this is this attire is actually based off of the Zoolander movie. I believe, I'm not sure what character it was from, but I remember that was a big deal. And this was back when she ditched the alien gimmick and was more of a serious competitor. So we don't have the face paint, we don't have the bright neon green color scheme. And it's, you know, very much looking more like a traditional wrestler here. I really dig it. Here we have the dark brown hair with the faint green strip going down the front, kind of a tribute to her old gimmick, her old look. And we have some great tattoo work here on the right arm and on the back. Yeah, you can see the tattoo there. You can't really pick it up from my camera too good, but there's some nice detail in there. It looks almost like a lightning design over all black here, and then we have the front here at the top that says, Kris Statlander, and almost a stylized font there, like a glam rock font. And we have the star designs all throughout. Another tattoo here on the leg, and we have two knee braces, kind of showing her journey and the different injury issues that she's had, but she's fought through. We have knee pads here that continue this aesthetic, inspired by the movie Zoolander. Or was it? No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was Zoolander. And then we have these very cool boots here. Go all the way up here to right below the knee pad. I like them. You can see here they have buckles, like straps and buckles all the way up and down. That is a very cool looking boot design. I am really a big fan of this design here, and now I want to get a look at this, what they've done with the knee pads and knee joints here. This is interesting. One thing I always struggle with is I do not like rubber knee pads because they always seem to inhibit the range of motion of the double jointed knees here. But it looks like, yeah, the knee pads are soft enough to where you can either move them. Here, this knee pad is up high above the knee joint on the right side, just the way it was packed. And this one is actually below the knee joint. But you see, you can move these up and down comfortably and even have them wrap around the knee joint and still get good range of motion because while it's a thick rubber, it's a very soft rubber. And so I'm a big fan of that. So as far as the look, I mean, it has her build. It has, in my opinion, a better face than the first Statlander that I got in my collection. And updated tattoos. I'm a very big fan of this, and this more closely resembles, more of what she looks like today. So I'm a big fan of that, and I like the soft goods entrance robe that comes along with it. So as far as look goes, I'm gonna give it a solid A. Now let's talk about articulation here. Starting at the head, we have, and also, yeah, the hair also has a cool bandana kind of wrapped around it as well. So the head we have on a swivel, and does it have, okay, yeah, it goes back and forth and all the way around, hindered slightly by the long hair, and then going down to the arms all the way around, up and down, a cut on the bicep for left to right horizontal movement, pinned double jointed elbows, and then the wrist all the way around, back and forth with interchangeable hands. And then mid torso we have a swivel. The hips go left and right. And this is something I'm noticing a lot more with the female figures here lately, is that they have more of a left to right swivel. A lot like, I don't know if that's something I just hadn't noticed before. Yeah, it's the same thing with the old figure, but the female figures, the hips move a lot like the Mattel action figures, almost all the way around. Whereas the males, you have that's all the way around the swivel. Here you have a left to right motion, so that's different. And also the male figures, they come apart and they're interchangeable. Here, I don't know if they're going to do that as kindly. Now going down to the hips, we have a ball joint on the legs, thigh cup for left to right movement, pinned double jointed knees. We already looked at the articulation there. And then we have one of my favorite things. There is a calf cut, but what they did is they put it at the very top of the boot, right below the knee brace, knee pad, so we don't have any unnecessary lines. If we're going to do a calf cut, I prefer it that way. And then the feet go back and forth, a slight side to side. And yeah, the articulation, I would definitely give it an A. Nothing too fancy, but nothing to complain about. So far we're looking at an A figure. Now, as far as her accessories go, she was never really one big for accessories. I do like the entrance jacket, the soft goods jacket. It's going to come on and off pretty easily. Looks just like the real thing. And then we have a bunch of hands, and we're doing a bunch of different hand signs. So usually we have either a grappling hand or a fist, but here we have what comes with the action figure is a set of fists. We get a good look here. And then we have 5 extra hands. And so we have one set of hands here that does some kind of hand signal. And then we have another set of hands doing a different type of hand signal. To be honest with you, I was tuned out during this time, so I'm not sure what is up with all of the hand signals. I was mostly catching up with AEW via highlights. So, yeah, I can't tell you what's with all the different hands. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. Maybe you can answer that question. But, yeah, I think, I don't know. I dig interchangeable hands. I think 5 is a little bit overboard. I think if you wanted a cool accessory, knowing that she was TBS champion during this time, I think it would have been a very cool way to introduce the TBS champion to a collection. You know, I have a lot of championships. I have tag team belts, multiple copies. I have multiple women's championships, at least 2 of each variation of the main women's championship. But I do not have a women's TBS championship. And, yeah, knowing that she was the second ever TBS champion, I think it would have been a very cool opportunity to add a novel accessory to this. And so for that reason, I'm going to give the accessories a B. They get a high grade for the jacket, but a negative grade for the lack of a TBS championship. So now that we have 2 action figures of the same character, let's compare and contrast. First, we're going to talk about scale. The height is identical. You know, you would think that that would be the case, being it's the same person, same character. They're going to use the same measurements and work off of the same molds if they can. The face looks slightly different. I think my preference for the new face isn't so much the sculpt being better, but the aesthetic choice made with it. I was not the biggest fan of the alien gimmick. I mean, it was fun, but compared to her more recent gimmicks, I much prefer those. So that's why I prefer the newer face scan over the old. But they're both high quality. Yeah, the hair is very good on both. Here we have the arm tattoo. Looks identical, except for the newer one. Has a lot more brighter coloration, and it's not from age. It is just fresher out of the box there. And then, of course, she didn't have the big back tattoo visible back when this first action figure came out. And she just had the one knee brace. And let's see, did we have... Yeah, the knees were pretty mobile on this one too, because she didn't have a knee pad on the old one. The boots are slightly shorter, a little bit different style here on the old boots, but I think they did a great job of taking what worked with the original action figure and keeping it with the new one and adding to it, capturing that moment in time. And so, yeah, I'll give the accessories a B. Like I said, it would be an A for the jacket if it included the TBS championship. But I think, you know, when you want to talk about novel accessories, yeah, the hands are cool, but they're not as cool as a championship belt. A belt that you could use with a Mercedes Moné action figure, that you could use with a Willow Nightingale action, that you could use with so many action figures. You know, it would be a fun, reusable accessory that they just kind of did not include here. But I really dig it. I suggest if you can find it, get it. It looks like this may be one of the last runs we get from Jazzwares, because from what I'm hearing, the contract is going to run out by the end of this year. And AEW will be looking for a new manufacturer. Part of me hopes, because I really like the variety that Jazzwares brought to the wrestling action figure space, that maybe last minute something can be worked out with them. But who knows? Mattel will probably not be an option because they work with WWE. But I think Hasbro would be a great landing spot because they have more production capabilities than Jazz wears right now, and they're doing great things with the G.I. Joe Classified line. And, if they added that type of detail and quality to the AEW action figures, that would be something great. Boss Fight Studios. This could be, if they went to Boss Fight Studios, an AEW contract could be something that would allow them to scale up production, therefore lowering prices. Because Boss Fight Studios, if you haven't checked out any of their stuff, even their lower quality, lower price point action figures are very high quality. Everything they do is high quality, and well worth the money. And so I think if they could get a big contract like the AEW, they could make more action figures at a lower price and get more quality action figures into the hands of collectors. But who knows where that's going to go. But irregardless, I'm looking forward to more action figures in the future. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. And if you'd like to contribute to the growth of this channel, you can buy me a coffee. But the most important thing you can do is continue watching, liking, subscribing, and maybe even sharing. But I'll see you next time. Until then, keep buying them action figures. I am out.